personally, what are you focusing on next? What's the next sort of few years of climbing you've got for you?
Well, it's always been a big aim is to climb 9A. 2 years ago I climbed 8C plus and a few 8Cs and stuff, and that still is sort of a big aim really, to be honest. I'd like to climb 9A in the UK and I'd like to climb it abroad as well. But in order to do that, you've got to have quite a lot of time. You've got not just commitment to doing it, but you've actually got to have the time to put into the routes and the time to put into the training, and hopefully later on in the year then that'll sort of all come together a little bit. This winter I was trying a route in Santa Linya, and I was progressing slowly because I wasn't turning up fit enough or strong enough. I was just getting better on the route basically, and I got to the point where at first I felt it a little bit disheartening that I wasn't doing too well on it, and then now I've also seen that I can get fit again and can do, can climb quite hard routes quite quick. So that's been quite a relief in a way, that I've got a little bit of belief that I can climb hard again for sure.
When you talk about training, do you have a specific training regime? Do you try and train sort of all aspects of climbing, power, endurance, everything, or is it specifically one element if you're working a particular route?
Well, there's a big difference between when I last really focused on training compared to how people approach it now. A lot more structure and stuff goes into training, but I think also a lot of the important aspects of it gets left out, which is actually going climbing. and so I can still stand alongside somebody that is, on paper so much better and so much stronger, and 9 times out of 10 I can still beat them in a comp, and that's got there's a lot to be said for basically having that little bit of extra ability and that experience as well. And as to whether I'd train a huge amount to go and climb 9A, I'm not so sure, because I'd probably break myself nowadays. You've only got, at the end of the day, you've only got a certain number of moves in your body probably before things really start to break, and touch wood, I've been pretty lucky not to actually have an injury, a real injury that's knocked me back for 6 months or something. I've always been able to climb, but I know that when I do try and train hard, it hurts, whereas actually getting fitter on rock is probably the way, but it's a much slower process. So yeah, I just need to get my arse out to Spain or something and stay there for 6 months.
Are there any advice that you give to any inspiring climbers, aspiring climbers at the moment, who are sort of starting out in climbing, just from a coach point of view? What should they continue to do? What should they start to do?
The one thing I'd say is basically don't neglect climbing. Like I said before, there's this obsession with training and fingerboards and front levers on pinky monos and all that sort of rubbish in a way, and rock and what you can gain from rock is something that will stay with you forever basically. It isn't all about brute strength and ignorance.
Finally, Boulder Central has a summer bouldering league coming up soon. What advice would you give to those who want to take part, and why should they take part?
I'd just say get involved, really, to be honest, because it's, bouldering is a very fun thing to do. It's a very social thing to do. If there's a lot of people coming to climbing now that don't come in through other friends, that just, there's a climbing wall, I'll start climbing, and then you meet a few people within the centre as you go about your daily climbing routine. But when it comes to a little bit of a comp, there's usually a few more like-minded people there that are all keen to have fun, and you've obviously got a load of fun problems to climb on, and it's a great way to just get involved and interact with other people and have a bit of a social event. To be honest, it's not really about the competition, it's about the fun.
Absolutely. Fantastic.
No worries.
Gaz, thank you very much.
Cheers very much.
Let you get back to the start of the demo.
Thanks.